Hey everybody, day 3 for shoulder work. I'm gonna change things up a little bit. We'll cover pails and rails like the normal sequence from the hips, but I'm gonna also add a little short 3 exercise circuit after the pails and rails discussion. So if you want to get some direct work from this, then go ahead and do that after the pails and rails, or if you're really crunched on time, you can just get straight to that. It is going to be very specific to what we're working on, so just keep that in mind. So for pails and rails, the first ones we would work on are likely going to be internal and external rotation. Very similar ideas to the hips. So for internal rotation, we're going to get down to the floor. Grab a pillow or a roller to support your head with this. All right, so I'm going to try to keep my shoulder blade, the right shoulder blade behind me. I'm going to try to keep that kind of sucked up to the rib cage, maybe a little bit retracted. If I don't do that, you'll feel the shoulder kind of come up off the floor, and this movement is now from the shoulder blade, not from the ball and socket. So I'm going to try to keep my scapular positioning on this side in place. I'm going to rest my head, and I'll slowly find that light stretch in the very back of the shoulder. Again, keep that shoulder blade in the same position. We'll find our 2-minute stretch, and then our 15-second push and pull. I'm going to be pressing into my hand, into actually external rotation first. So I'm going to actively push against my hand. I'm working hard in this direction right now. So 15 seconds of work, 15 seconds of pulling down towards the floor. We'll do that for 2 reps. Meet my pressure. I'm pressing as hard as I comfortably can up in this direction. I'm not going to let it move, but I meet that pressure. 15 seconds of pulling down towards the floor. Again, keeping that shoulder blade pinned to your rib cage and the shoulder, kind of the ball and socket of it, flush to the floor. So go ahead and try that on both sides, and we'll get to external rotation. Okay, so for external rotation, we're going to use a door frame. So before I get to it, when we're thinking external rotation in the standing position, we're thinking back. Okay, so when I get set up, instead of initially trying to get myself into external rotation, I'm going to move my body around my shoulder. So that basically presents, instead of moving my shoulder here, if I kick my hips back and lean my chest forward, I'll put my shoulder in external rotation. So I find my position, hips back, chest forward until I feel a stretch. I'll hold this for 2 minutes. Now my 15-second push is going to be by hand into the door. My 15-second pull is going to be hand off the door. So go ahead and try that. As you get comfortable with it, you can do both at the same time if both of your shoulders feel the stretch in the same place. Go ahead and try that, and then I'm going to give you 3 little exercises to do for shoulder internal and external rotation. So first one is going to be just simply grabbing a roller. We're going to work on rolling into internal rotation. So I'm going to squeeze this roller really tight. Feel tension build up in the shoulders. I'm going to press and roll internally from one side. Hit my limit. Press and roll internally on the other side. We're trying to keep constant tension from both shoulders here. So we're getting full range of internal rotation in both directions here. Exercise 1. Exercise 2 is going to be a side plank. So we'll start with knees down, our knees are bent, feet are back. So now instead of having my forearm facing in front of me, I'm going to externally rotate that forearm until I hit my limit, and I'll hold my side plank, constantly trying to externally rotate as much as possible. So this is more of a static exercise, holding that new external rotation range of motion. Third exercise, obviously do that for both sides, but third exercise, we'll get into our dead bug position. We're going to work on external rotation here. So open up as much as you can from the shoulder. Both thumbs will be facing out. We're going to get thumbs to the floor. If you can rotate even more, go ahead. Constant external rotation, pressing into the floor if you can. As you get up overhead, you'll almost get fingertips to the floor. Constant external rotation all the way through the range of motion. All right, so we have, if you don't have a foam roller for that first exercise, you can grab anything. Let's get 10 and 10 on that exercise. 10 deep breaths from each side plank, and 10 of those externally rotated circles on the floor. Go ahead and get that for 2 or 3 rounds. We'll call it a day, and I'll get back to you tomorrow. Thanks.